All right. Well, I've started
Okay.
because we only have 62.92 for subscribers on this channel, compared to the main channel where it's over 91,000 now.
Oh, I'm in the wrong.
You're in the wrong account, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't want to be in that account.
I'm losing track of how many botches I've seen already. Hello, everybody. It's the women's ladder match right now. Naomi's got a new look. See, she's a bumblebee.
That one. I saw that.
Yeah, it's different.
Okay. She has fun shoes, though.
She always has fun shoes.
So that's what matters.
God, don't give it to Mandy. They already did a ladder spot where Nikki's rolling around with a ladder and hitting people, and Mandy twice fell down without the ladder actually hitting her.
There we go. Now I'm signed into the right account.
My favorite track on the new Rammstein album, I would go with the third one on it. What's the name of the third one on it again?
I don't know.
Fine.
I don't remember the name of it. I know which song you're talking about.
With the choir at the start. That's fantastic. Fine, I'll use Spotify. Oh, this is just... Oh, that hurt. That ladder totally landed on Bailey's ankle. And there's a new song from Slipknot as well. Slipknot has a new album coming out in August. I'm excited. No, go back. Yeah, Zeigdish. Yeah, Zeigdish is the one. That one's fantastic. Why didn't you know it was called Zeigdish?
I don't remember.
You got to remember names of Rammstein songs. It's fantastic.
I don't remember names of songs in English.
I wonder what Jordan thought of me playing Icebreaker when we were driving to the Red Robin last night. See, that just looks too staged. You see what I mean? Oh, look how staged this looks.
Somebody mentioned that Slipknot guy's daughter died.
Yeah. Yeah, that loads up. If you load up their homepage, it goes straight to that. And that is their first tour date is until June 7th. I don't know if that puts any of that in doubt, but yeah, that's really, really awful. She was only 22. That's just awful. Not that it's easy to lose a child at any time.
It's really cold down here.
I think all the ladies in this match got new ring gear. Wait. So Carmella's legit hurt or not?
I don't think so.
I didn't see what happened to her.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, we'll see if it throws the other girls off. I just don't understand why Dana Brooke's in this match. I guess she got Sasha Banks' spot. Oh, this match has been absolutely sloppy. And I am a big supporter of women's wrestling, and this has been terrible. I don't know if they didn't practice enough or what it is, but this is just... That was awful. Oh, God, Dana. I used to like Dana Brooke back in NXT. There was a time in NXT where I liked her when she was with Emma. I liked her a lot, and then it's been downhill ever since. And did Charlotte get I know Charlotte's not in this match, but did she get like face plastic surgery or something? Because she looks really weird. Or she got something.
I've mentioned that before.
Like her lips look like she got collagen injections, really, and it just looks really weird.
Are you going to watch the Game of Thrones finale episode? I remember seeing you don't really enjoy it. I've never gotten into it either. I'm not watching it.
Yeah, I'll watch the Game of Thrones finale because I think it'll be rage-inducing and I want to see what it is. It's only an hour and a half, sweetie. We'll watch that tonight.
I'm not watching it.
Can live stream our reaction to it.
I'm not watching
I think I should train the camera on her for it.
Absolutely no desire to watch
it. Be all kinds of blood and guts and fighting.
Right, which is why I'm not watching it.
Actually, I don't know. I think everybody's dead. I don't think there's going to be any blood and guts in the last episode. It's just going to be Jon Snow having an hour and a half long discussion with Daenerys, which would be fantastic. See, again, this looks really, really staged. Mandy waits for Natty to go around. ladder matches work when it looks like it's not set up.
That's dumb.
Or if you see a spot coming, it should be something big, not something stupid like that. That was dumb.
And thank you for all you do for the hockey community. It's unfortunate hockey isn't a more popular sport because your work deserves more acknowledgement.
I think that helped though, because at the start I was the only one doing the 31 teams and all of that.
Right.
I know there's a lot of channels that have come up since then, but
Right.
I started it out. So I think that helped me. I think if I was reporting on baseball, basketball, or something else, I think A, I don't have as much passion for it, and B, I don't know that I would have had a lot more. I know she did. I know Ember didn't.
Somebody else climbing, I'll just jump.
And she jumped down too. Yeah.
I'm just gonna jump.
Yeah, this is too bad.
Do you think that
nice
this match on first to have the winner threaten the cash in twice on Becky? Also, let's go Blues.
I could see that. I think what they're setting up with Nikki.
Those are really light aluminum ladders.
See, now that you've been watching wrestling for years, now you understand these aren't real ladders. These are not your standard what you get in a store ladders. These are specially made for WWE.
Really
they are lightweight. They don't hurt as much as a real steel ladder would. But I think what they're setting up, I think, is that Nikki's going to look up to Alexa, and then Alexa's going to turn on her. So maybe Nikki wins the title, and then Alexa stabs her in the back and takes the belt. It's going to be like when Mankind was going for the title. She's not trying to win it. And notice also, Dana's not trying to get the briefcase. She was reaching above it. Who does that? Mandy's butt's always falling out because she knows she knows why people cheer for her.
That's a bum shot. My goodness.
It's also on purpose.
It's terrible.
They're slapping each other. And you know what's funny? They're slapping each other at the top of the ladder, waiting for somebody else to come in and stop them. Right. Dana's actually stepping down so she can't touch the briefcase.
Reach it. Oh, it's too far.
First Dana's reaching above the briefcase, and then it's, I seem to be stepping down for some reason. This is Botchamania is going to have an entire video just from this match.
Hockey's too expensive and difficult to find a spot to practice for it to become a popular worldwide sport.
They have to build more arenas. They have to put more money into it.
I don't know. Here, we can play street hockey at any park.
Yep.
You just need we have the street hockey lacrosse courts at parks.
What are they chanting holy for? That nothing happened.
No. And so all you need is a hockey ball and a stick. So I don't know. I mean, ice hockey, it's expensive and you have to have a nice rink. But
okay, you used to have to earn those chants from the fans. But they'd be like, holy! No, not anymore. Now it's just if you go off a top rope, if you execute a move they don't see every week on Raw, it's a holy crap moment. The bar has been lowered.
This is dumb. Congrats on over 90,000.
Thank you.
Hi, Shannon, Yvonne, and Katz. How's it going?
It's going well.
What is this about?
This is Money in the Bank, and I posted a video on this channel beforehand and here's the thing. So during the pre-show, during a match, they were advertising Money in the Bank. During the pre-show, where you see Money in the Bank everywhere. Oh, Carmella's coming back. What a shocker. With her knee bandaged up.
Whatever. This is just dorky.
She tweaked her knee, and then she ran right there. She ran right there to ram Mandy into the ladder.
It's the brother of the hockey guy, the entertainment guy.
Twin brother. Shannon doesn't give me a fair cut either.
If the Blues win the cup, I will be very upset. Come to Dallas, Shannon. We have Whataburger?
Yeah, we haven't been to Whataburger.
Okay.
That's in California too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be overly upset with St. Louis winning it because they've never won it before. It is always nice to see that first Stanley Cup win and to see an end to the failure comments about a franchise and disorganization. St. Louis should have won it when Al McInnes was there, though. They really should have.
It's the same way with the This Is Awesome chance.
Oh, Sonya Deville's in there. The one who should have been in the match in the first place. Grab the briefcase. Throw the whole thing off.
Hold on. Let me straighten it.
Why is everybody knocked out cold? I don't understand. There wasn't.
I can't get up.
Why is she tying her hair up?
Hold on, I can't get up. This is just silliness. Thank God wrestling is tonight. The shirts game is brutal. Where did everybody else go?
They're all knocked out.
When did they get knocked out?
I don't know, somewhere in the last 5 minutes, I guess.
Why
I hope
can't
she drops
move?
her. I hope she drops her.
Why can't she move? I'm really confused.
It's not a feat of strength. Mandy weighs like 110 pounds. Just step up. Now kiss her. She wouldn't see that coming.
Silly. Okay. Do you think Elias Anderson is a bust?
No, it's too early in his career to say. Bailey won it. Bailey won Money in the Bank.
This is silliness.
Well, there you go.
Can we get a dancing video if the Bruins win the cup?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. You could, although Yvonne will tell you, I was doing my share of dancing in the fourth game.
Yeah.
Once it was obvious Boston was winning it.
Yes.
Good for Bailey.
She got cut. Did you see that?
Yes.
That looks like it's going to be a bruise.
Oh, for sure. That's probably from when they were slapping her with the ladders. Not very well. That was a horrible match.
I hope the Bruins get swept.
There's a lot of people hoping that. I think they're going to be disappointed. But again, the Bruins are in the finals, so they're in the finals. This is the fifth time in my lifetime they've been in the finals. 88, 90, 2011, 2013. So it doesn't happen that often for me anyways.
Who's the blonde girl in the red?
That's Mandy Rose, who they're trying to build up to be this next big thing.
So
but she can't wrestle. She's the best looking girl they've got. I will agree with that, but she can't wrestle. Although I think if Sonya Deville was dressed up like she was, Sonya would be, but they have a thing for blondes. What Becky Lynch said is true. They do kind of have a thing for blondes.
It's stupid.
There's Charlie in a dress she doesn't want to bend down too far in.
Mm-hmm. Are you live streaming Double or Nothing on Saturday?
I'm trying to figure out where to watch it. Watching Double or Nothing, they don't carry it on TELUS. It's $50 to order.
That's ridiculous.
Which is ridiculous. It's a company that's never put on a wrestling event before. So I'd be nervous about handing over $50 to watch their first ever event.
That's ridiculous. When will you rank your favorite teams?
Oh, that'll be more towards like September.
Do you think the Bruins will follow suit and get swept in the finals?
Nope.
I saw the Japanese girl wrestle at a house show. I thought she wasn't too bad. There's more than one Japanese girl.
Well, there's Io Shirai, there's Kairi Sane, and Asuka. Io Shirai is pretty good. Now, did they give Bailey the briefcase because Sasha Banks is having a hissy fit and she's out? So now to keep Bailey from wanting out of the company too, they're giving her money in the bank? Because I can't imagine Bailey's happy either. She legit is best friends with Sasha Banks. And there seems to be a divide in the women's locker room. That's a surprise, a divide in the women's locker room where there's about 30 women.
Nothing like the controversial topic of WWE. Guess that's what makes it entertainment.
It's less controversial than the stuff I've been reporting on with hockey over the last month. What is Renee wearing? Is that a tank top under a leather
It
outfit?
looks like leather overalls with the tank top under. That's a really hideous outfit.
Did she borrow that from her hubby, or did she get like his ring gear by accident?
Really ugly.
Oh,
Who's the better YouTuber, the hockey guy or the entertainment guy?
the entertainment guy's more relaxed.
Well, yeah, entertainment guy is more relaxed and the hockey guy is more consistent.
What? What do you mean the hockey guy's more consistent?
True.
You dissing me in my channel?
Nope. Of course not.
Look, they had it that in storyline, Sami Zayn was thrown into a garbage truck.
That's so stupid.
And then the next night he was on SmackDown. And they're like, what? And he was fine.
Of course it is.
He was absolutely fine.
Hello, Shannon. What do you think of the winner?
Bailey, I like Bailey as the winner. That's a good one. It's weird because normally it's a bad guy that's the winner. Look, they're all teaming up to pin him.
That's right. Okay. Would you do a video ranking Rammstein albums?
It's so hard to rank Rammstein albums because they're all different. They're all good for different reasons. Once I have the new Rammstein album that's supposed to arrive on Wednesday, I can work on that. Why is he whispering? He's on camera. Does he think nobody knows where he is? He's on camera.
The entertainment guy should know then that the Walking Wounded by the Tea Party are the Sharks' new song.
Oh, it's yeah. And there are a lot of Shark fans that think the Blues are the dirtiest team in the league. To which I say, I've heard that with every team that's won a game in the playoffs.
Have you reviewed the new Slipknot song?
No, I just heard it like a couple hours ago. I
Yeah.
ran upstairs to tell her about it. I think it's
Yeah.
fantastic, though. Anything that combines choir and classical elements with heavy metal, I am usually completely on board with that.
Yeah.
That's why I love Nightwish.
Nightwish is
Nightwish is fantastic. She plays Phantom of the Opera a lot.
Yes. Adelaide really likes Nightwish. Adelaide likes music with women lead vocals.
Well, my favorite Nightwish is Amaranth.
That one's fun too.
It's between Nightwish and Wish I Had an Angel or Bye Bye Beautiful. Those three. Definitely those three.
Thank you for giving me enjoyable content, even when it's not talking about my team. He has an Oilers logo. So
Well, I
guess
appreciate
he's an
that.
Oilers fan.
I try to make sure there's content for every team as regularly as possible,
I think Drew wins the men's Money in the Bank.
though. It could be Drew. I don't know. I'm kind of over it. No, there's Ray and there's his kid Dominic. Apparently what they're doing with this storyline is that Dominic's going to end up taking the mask from him. So Rey Mysterio is going to retire and his kid will take up the mantle.
Did you watch Gotham?
I haven't watched Gotham for the last 3 years. To be completely honest, I somewhat lost interest and had problems getting back into it, but soon I'll sit down and power through the seasons that took place. I know it's over. What's that look for?
If you have to power through it, no.
Well, I mean binge watch.
Nah.
So I'll just binge watch like 60 episodes and you'll sit and watch it with me.
I haven't watched any of it.
Okay, so we'll binge watch 100 episodes.
Ugh.
It'll be fine. You like Batman.
That doesn't sound fun.
You like Batman. And Batman's not really even in it. It's Bruce Wayne as a kid.
What do you think of Sone, or however you pronounce it?
Think of what?
This-
Oh, Shauna.
There you go. I knew I was.
Shauna's a
pronouncing it
fantastic
really
song.
wrong. I couldn't remember.
Originally written for Vitaly Klitschko. Then he didn't use it. I laugh when people hold up their signs and they're upside down. I made this sign. I'm so proud. And you look like an idiot.
Do you like Within Temptation and Leaves Eyes bands?
I haven't really heard them. I know of them. They're on my Spotify recommended.
check out Ginger and Spirit Box. Spirit Box is from Victoria, I believe.
Well, that helps. We'd have a chance to see them locally. Anytime you can see a band locally, it's fun. Like when we saw Pack AD in Bellingham.
Yeah.
They won't be touring again for a while.
In the States. That doesn't mean they're not playing up here.
No, I know. It's just they told us
They're
you guys are
playing-
lucky to be seeing us.
They're playing in Vancouver soon, but I figured
That's
it
sold
was
out.
easier to see them in Bellingham.
That's and it's you're right because that one's
Because
sold out.
We don't have to drive in Vancouver. You didn't have to pay for parking.
Getting to and from Bellingham is easier.
And yeah, there weren't a lot of people that wanted to drive down.
Yep.
If it's my opinion, I want Sharks versus Bruins final because of the drama of Thornton.
See, I don't mind Blues versus Bruins because then people have to come up with a new conspiracy theory. Because the whole conspiracy theory was that everybody wanted Joe Thornton to win it.
Right.
So then you have to change it.
Did you see the final episode of Big Bang Theory, the two-parter? If yes, what did you think?
I saw it. It was okay. I don't know. Sarah Michelle Gellar being in the finale made it weird. Is there anything with Raj? Like, they couldn't even make Raj not creepy for the last episode. They had to make him kind of creepy, and then they don't really explain. It felt like Sarah Michelle Gellar was there just so that the line could be delivered by Sheldon from the podium of, is that Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Felt like that's the only reason that whole thing took place. I didn't laugh out loud once, and that says something, because even now watching reruns of the episodes from the first few seasons, I still laugh. I haven't laughed at that show in a long time.
No, I stopped watching it.
She won't watch it.
No.
I tried to get her to watch the last episode. She's like, no.
It hasn't been funny for a very long time. That show.
At some point, it turned into everybody was just mean to each other.
Yep.
Bernadette's horrible to Howard. Leonard is an absolute drain on Penny's life. Sheldon's just flat out terrible.
Yeah.
He goes from being socially awkward to just being a horrible person.
Yeah.
Amy Farrah Fowler's very unlikable at points as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, yeah, that's where I have a problem with the show.
Do you watch Cultaholic, Wrestle Talk, or What Culture?
I watch What Culture Wrestling. I like watching Simon Miller. His ups and downs are fantastic. And I watch Wrestle Talk as well. And it's got to the point where I don't watch Raw and SmackDown very much. I watch them more than anything else. Cultaholic, I watched a couple of their videos, but I'm already watching What Culture and Wrestle Talk, so I don't really need to add a third channel to it. But they're good.
As a young aspiring Canadian indie professional wrestler, I'm so happy I found
His
you.
shoulders weren't down.
You cover my two favorite things, wrestling and hockey. What up from Hamilton?
His shoulders weren't down. They show live. Wait and watch this. Are they going to show the replay? Because Samoa Joe's shoulder was not down. He has a broken nose, but you know,
awful.
Yeah. I think he took that 619 right in the face. Joe's going to go out and destroy him now.
Will Thornton come back next year?
I don't know. If he comes back, he'll have to come back at less money, but I don't think so. So here's the replay. And then look, his shoulder is up.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
His shoulder's up.
Yeah, they're talking about it.
Because they have to.
Obstructed.
Well, now we know where the NHL referees from Vegas ended up.
Shannon.
What?
What's up, Shannon?
His shoulder was up the whole time.
Can't wait for the video on today's hockey game. WWE's ratings are in the tank. Do you think they can recover?
They won't recover with this kind of crap. This is just ridiculous. And now Dominic's running to the ring to celebrate with his dad.
Do you ever check the Stars Reddit?
No, I don't go on Reddit very. I don't. I stay away from Reddit for the most part.
Do you like KMFDM
DM?
at all?
Yes. Yes, I've listened to them. I do like them.
Thoughts on the Bruins roster being 70% American?
I don't really care where players come from. The Canucks have had a lot of Swedes over the years. So it doesn't bother me one way or the other.
Joe's shoulders weren't down. What a botched ending.
It's awful.
I was just about to say, we now know where those refs from Game 7 ended up. Referees from WWE are going to be next year's baseball umpires. NHL are getting their refs from the NBA next year.
Now, what they're not saying, because they're not going to say it, is Dominic's been learning how to wrestle. He's been at the Performance Center learning how to wrestle. So that's clearly where this is leading.
What do you think of Bray Wyatt's new character?
I absolutely love Bray Wyatt's new character. I think it's fantastic. His mask is beautiful. I welcome him to Slipknot. I'm very excited that he's a member of Slipknot. And I'm kidding, but it does look like a Slipknot mask. And he looks amazing.
Wyatt's new mask is amazing.
Oh, it's fantastic. That whole character is fantastic. And I think they should do it like a split personality where sometimes he comes out as that happy-go-lucky Mr. Rogers character, and then he'll lose, and then the other guy comes out instead or something like that, or he goes under the ring and comes out with the mask on and he's crazy. I think they could have a lot of fun with that, like the old Mankind Dude Love kind of thing, but do it really, really well. Do it with them both being the same person, which I know was Mick Foley, but you know what I mean? Like they're both part of the exact same character.
Only approximately 84,800 subscribers below the hockey guy. Love both channels. Keep up the great. Great content.
I really thought Festy Fest would get us our first couple of million. I did. I thought Festy Fest would get us at least 2 million, but the dysentery didn't help. I think the fact we forgot to have porta potties for it helped. Help people get hurt and things of that nature. Putting Keith Richards in charge of the security probably wasn't a great idea either. A lot of bad decisions were made along the way there. We'll learn with the next Festy Fest though, which is coming up pretty darn soon. You know, if the kid wants to sell that he's really helping his dad up the ramp, he shouldn't be high-fiving fans. I'm so worried about my dad. Hey, how's it going? How you doing? Why is he beating things up backstage? Oh, Braun Strowman's a bloody joke.
I want a Firefly Funhouse episode tonight.
I want something in the ring from him tonight. I want to see him win Money in the Bank somehow tonight.
Bray's mask looks like a combo of Pennywise, Sweet Tooth, and Slipknot.
A lot of Beetlejuice in that mask too.
Did the WWE hire an NHL ref for that finish?
That was sloppy. I don't understand. That's two sloppy referee finishes in 2 pay-per-views. Because Becky, the shoulders weren't down for Ronda either. Oh, I just don't get it.
Festy Fest almost started the War of 1812.
Festy Fest retroactively started the War of 2019, which lasted a grand total of 15 minutes. Consisted of some punches and kicks and a couple of slaps with a bat.
People on here not familiar with Festy Fest.
Festy Fest is an event that I threw that didn't happen, involving artists that weren't going to show up for an event that wasn't going to happen. It's my way of paying tribute to the Fire Festival. It really is. It's my way of paying tribute, and I think it worked really well. The next event that's not going to happen should be, I think we're planning in July for the next Festy Fest that's not going to take place. The Beatles will be there. Mamas and the Papas, whoever's left. I think it's the grandchildren and the children now, I think. I don't think they're the Mamas and the Papas anymore. The children and the grandchildren is what they call the band now. They just pass it along from one generation to the next to the next. Anyways, they're going to be there. And then we're going to reunite original members of every band that you can think of right now in some fantastic, amazing show that will never take place. Problems with your glasses? So now Miz is fighting Shane McMahon again. And I have to say, how many times have we watched the Monday Night War episodes where they talk about how WCW's biggest problem was they were pushing old people instead of young people? And Shane McMahon is 49 years of age. And he gets a prime spot in a pay-per-view again while Daniel Bryan's on the pre-show. I don't get it.
Are you the hockey guy's twin? Because you look a lot like him.
I get that a lot. I do. I get that a lot.
Can you see Scott Darling making a potential return to the Blackhawks, where he actually was great as a goalie with starter Corey Crawford and goalie coach Jimmy Waite?
I think Darling's done. I do. Darling, it's not just that Darling wasn't good in Carolina. He wasn't good in Charlotte playing in the American League. He ended up on extended leaves from Charlotte. There are a lot of issues going on with Scott Darling. I don't think anybody's going to touch him this summer. I think his career is done. I'd be very surprised if Chicago would touch him, because you've got Corey Crawford who has concussion issues. You need somebody who's stable and able to step in, and I just don't know that he's able to do it anymore. A lot has changed over 2 years.
The Miz versus McMahon. Oh boy, don't ride the same tail twice, WWE. Should have just let this end of Mania.
Well, they have Miz switch brands. He goes to Raw, and now he's in a feud with the same guy from SmackDown he was with before. Why did he switch shows? Doesn't make any sense. Then, we're going to have the wild card rule, which doesn't make any sense. It broke Simon from What Culture. It broke him because they said we're going to have 3 guys who can switch spots per show, who can show up on the other show. And then it ended up being 4, and McMahon goes, fine, we'll make it 4. The last SmackDown, I think they had 6 from Raw. So Simon just started raging about it. And he's the most positive, happy guy I've ever seen with wrestling. And even he's like, this doesn't make any sense.
Styles versus Rollins. Who wins?
Rollins. Oh, this best in the world thing's really got to die. They got to stop this.
I'm predicting that Shane will jump from the top of the cage.
That's the only thing with Shane matches. You're guaranteed there's going to be some ludicrous spot, some ridiculous thing that's going to happen. I think part of the reason that they have Shane in these, I don't think he gets paid as much as other wrestlers because he has a stake in the company. He's the son of the owner. I think they save money by putting him in these spots over other wrestlers.
Who do you think Colorado will go after in free agency?
It won't be Duchesne. They'll ask Panarin. Everybody's going to ask Panarin. If Sakic's going to be aggressive in free agency, he's going to go after Panarin. May go after Bobrovsky as well. Because as much as Grubauer looked great in the playoffs, if you had Grubauer and Bobrovsky, holy crap.
Who do you think is going to have the most successful career between Kotkaniemi, Poling, and Suzuki?
I love Poehling based on that last game. But Kotkaniemi, it's hard to argue against him right now because he had a really good rookie season.
They're just daring CM Punk to come back to WWE. All this is.
I really want CM Punk to go to AEW. I am so hoping that next Saturday we see a CM Punk show. Because what they're setting up, so last night, for people who don't know, Pac had a match with Adam Hangman Page. They have some kind of a schmoz finish, and Adam Page was supposed to fight Pac at AEW's Double or Nothing next Saturday. Now, Pac has come out and said that he's quit AEW, which, according to Dave Meltzer, take it with a grain of salt sometimes with Dave Meltzer, but he seems to know what he's talking about on this one, that Pac has quit AEW because he won't do the job, and they're not going to do screw job DQ finishes at pay-per-views. They want them all to be clean finishes. So he would not lose to Adam Page. The idea is that Page is still in the main event. and everybody's figuring it'll be John Moxley, better known to WWE fans as Dean Ambrose, who would get the match against Page. I would love to see it actually be CM Punk. I think it would be absolutely amazing if Adam Hangman Page is in the ring. Everybody's like, Moxley's coming out, and then it's CM Punk instead. Everybody go nuts, and nobody would regret paying $50 then.
I really missed the old Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania when Punk and Kennedy and Edge and the Hardy Boys used to shine. They were amazing.
They have too many pay-per-views now. It's every few weeks, and it really waters it down. And they don't build up superstars like they used to. Everybody's booked. You win one, you lose one, you win one, you lose one. There's nobody who's being built up anymore. That's why they have to lean on part-timers as much as they do. That's why Undertaker gets main event billing all the time. There's no way in the 80s you would have seen a guy come back and from the 70s and get main event booking. It just doesn't happen. But in WWE now, they give the money to the guys who were the company's big guys 15, 20 years ago. It's ridiculous.
If the Blues were a wrestler, who would they be?
Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, because Seth gets a reputation for being somewhat of a dirty wrestler, but I don't see it. It's just been unfortunate accidents. And based on today's game, the Blues are somehow a dirty team, and I really don't see it.
Do you think the Canucks should try to trade for Tyler Toffoli to reunite him and Pearson?
I'd be very hesitant to get Toffoli. The Kings would have to give you something back, because Toffoli had a miserable season, as most of the Kings did. I think Pearson fit in well with what they had. I think the Canucks are in pretty good shape going forward. I think with Quinn Hughes on the blue line, they just need to add maybe one more player, and I think they're good. I don't know that Toffoli would be that guy either.
What's the entertainment guy's favorite hockey movie?
Well, the hockey guy's favorite hockey movie is Happy Gilmore, if it's a hockey movie. I don't know what he's talking about. That can't be a hockey movie. It's a golf movie. He's clearly clueless. So probably not Youngblood, because that movie's stupid. I'll agree with him on that one. The scorer has to learn how to fight before he becomes a good player. Goon's pretty solid. I guess Slapshot.
Do you think the New Jersey Devils take Hughes or Kakko in the draft? I watched interview with the team management. It seems they're leaning towards Kakko, even though I'd prefer Hughes.
I think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors right now about who's going to go number one. I'd be very surprised if they don't go with Hughes. Even Patrick Kane himself said he thinks that Hughes is a better player than he is. He's like, they compare him to me because of our physical size and the position we play. But he said he thinks that Hughes has better all-around skill than he did at that age coming into the NHL. That's high praise indeed. I'd be very surprised if they don't go with Hughes.
I hope one day AEW get their own network like the WWE does, because I'm not paying $50 for a pay-per-view.
They will be on TNT Drama in the U.S. starting in October. I don't know where they're going to end up in Canada. I'm going to guess it'll be on Sportsnet as well. Their show's going to be on Wednesdays, and they build their way up to that. And you know, if you can't afford pay-per-views, back in the day with WWE, I would just not see the pay-per-view, but I'd avoid spoilers online, and then on the Raw following, I would find out what happened on the pay-per-view the night before. Now I don't really care. I used to care back then. I used to be like, oh, I don't want to spoil it. Now I'm like, I don't care who won. Okay, that's fine.
I'm vetoing a video where Shannon eats 10 cheeseburgers. That's ridiculous.
Oh, no.
WWE would...
Even at 19, I had a hard time eating 10.
That would be awful. WWE would have real competition if Punk signed with AEW, but AEW already got Jericho.
Well, AEW with Jericho, and it looks like it'll be John Moxley, who was Dean Ambrose. I really think they're going to have a solid roster, and I think with Cody Rhodes, having a big part in this, not only that, but Tony Khan, who runs it, being worth $3 billion, that's huge. It's huge to have that kind of money. WWE does not have an owner that's worth $3 billion.
Chances Panarin signs with the Habs.
I would say almost zero. Based on what Panarin wants, based on taxes, it makes it harder for Montreal to get those big name free agents. This match is just crap. I just want to say right now, if this is the blow-off match between Miz and Shane, this is terrible. Their match at Mania was interesting. This one has just been terrible.
I think the WWE has been going downhill since the PG era began. Nobody will ever replace The Rock, Steve Austin's, and Kurt Angle's of past generations.
Because The Rock and Stone Cold were allowed to go out there and just say whatever they wanted. They weren't given a script. Guys now are just handed scripts. I think if you stopped handing them scripts, you just let them go out there and trash talk each other, I think you'd have a much better product. And AEW will decide that. If AEW comes out of the gate and they're saying there's no scripted promos, they've promised that. They're already giving wrestlers more money than what they were getting in WWE, which is odd but true. They can be a real threat. Absolutely 100%. And then Vince would have to start changing the way he does things.
What match is this?
Shane McMahon versus Miz in a steel cage. Because, sure, why not?
If you do end up watching AEW, I think you'll like Darby Allin if you haven't seen him already.
I have not seen him. There's a lot of wrestlers in that company I haven't seen. But I haven't seen Kenny Omega either. And I've heard nothing but good things about him and what he can do. So I think there's a lot of good talent in that company just needing more exposure on this side of the pond. But the funny thing is, because WWE has their own network, it does diminish the reality that New Japan is a big company. AAA is a big company. CMLL is a big company as well. They're both out of Mexico. There's a lot of places wrestlers can go now to make their money.
Favorite WWE match of all time?
The WrestleMania match between, it's hard to go against that TLC match in WrestleMania 17 between Edge, Christian, the Hardy Boys, and the Dudleys. But I would say the Bret Hart match versus Stone Cold, where it starts with Bret as the good guy. By the end of the match, Stone Cold's the good guy, Bret's the bad guy. And Stone Cold passes out in the sharpshooter while there's blood running down his face. That was just an amazing moment. I've watched that match many times, and it was amazing. That was the best storytelling in a match I've ever seen.
Maybe AEW will be the rebirth of the Attitude Era.
Well, I don't think we need, why isn't this match over? Okay, I don't think we need, a bunch of blood and guts either. I don't think we need a bunch of chair shots and barbed wire. We just need good stories, good characters. Back then you had decent characters. Mankind wasn't entertaining because he used a barbed wire baseball bat. He was entertaining because he was amazing in the ring. And again, it's about being able to tell the story during the match and the promos being done right at the right time and whatnot. And it just feels like they don't have that magic right now.
Feels like the 6th hour of WrestleMania and the pay-per-view just started.
Oh, this is just an awful match.
We want Triple H running WWE.
Why are the fans chanting VS? So now wrestling fans are complaining about the referee in this too? Do they not think that he kicked out by 3?
Undertaker versus Mankind cage match.
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And it showed how you can build a wrestler when he loses in the Hell in the Cell that they had. That Hell in the Cell, Mankind gets beat up for most of that match, comes out of it looking like an absolute god to wrestling fans. And that's how you do it.
Shane kind of looks like Kurt Angle, but with hair.
Shane he's always sweaty and awkward looking. And I get why people like him, that he does these amazing, cool spots. But I can't help but think that his spot in pay-per-views would be better taken by a real wrestler. Because he doesn't look like a real wrestler. See, now there, he's halfway over. What he's doing with the chair should cause him to go over the other side. Now, he'll fall this way.
Right.
Because
Why
This match
are
has to go
there
on as
rope
long as possible.
breaks in the cage?
Yeah, there should never be a rope break in the cage. Oh, is that what they were mad about? I never even thought of that. Yeah, they would be right if they were mad at the referee for that. Oh, now they're punching at the top of the cage.
Thoughts on XFL?
The XFL, I hope it fails. And I say that because we have enough football, and I think Yvonne will agree with me on that one.
What?
We have enough football.
Yeah, there's more than enough football.
XFL would be a brand new football league, and then I'd kind of have to cover it because
No, you would not.
it's run by WWE.
Shannon.
I'd have to at least watch the
No.
first week and see what a train wreck it is.
Ugh.
I can't see how it won't be a train wreck. I can't. And I can't see any big name NFL guys going to a league that's not the National Football League. Can't see it.
Shawn Michaels gets knocked out by Mike Tyson.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. That was fun at Mania. That was when Stone Cold won the title. That was a fun event. Seriously, this match needs to just not... They've given this match longer than they gave the Money in the Bank match between the women, which I kind of understand because that match sucked, but it really shows what they value right now, which is more Shane McMahon.
I really enjoyed Kane and his original storyline with Undertaker and later how they tagged up.
Oh, yes. The Brothers of Destruction, they were fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The fists in the air when they leave the ring. That was fantastic.
WWE hired 2 NHL refs tonight.
Do you know what I love? When a guy's in a lock like that, and you see them with their hand, and then they'll like that. I'm thinking, you're tapping out. And they never call it that way, but they should. Should be like, all right, well, you tapped out.
I see what you mean about scripts, but up-and-coming talent can't overwhelm the crowd. Even the top dogs nowadays can't cut a promo. For example, Roman Reigns, even if you let him go out without a script.
But if you watch, and this is worth looking at on YouTube, the old promos from Jon Moxley before he was Dean Ambrose, absolutely fantastic, brutal, awesome, amazing. Then he goes to WWE. They give him a script. They stick him in NXT. Here's what we want you to do. Here's how you should portray yourself. Completely neutered him. They absolutely neutered his character. They took out all of the badassery from it. And he was nothing in WWE compared to what he was on the indie scene. Stop taking that out. And with Roman, I don't know that they have coaches that know how to get guys over. You have to know how to get over. And it feels like a lot of these wrestlers now, they don't have the right coaching for that.
The women's Money in the Bank already happened.
Yeah. And it was terrible. It was one of the worst matches I've seen. I usually can defend a women's match. I cannot defend that. Shane should just drop and...
Now that Ralph Kruger is the Sabres coach, will they sign Thomas Vanek? Maybe re-sign Palmer?
Oh, I don't think Pominville's sticking around. So Shane McMahon beats The Miz?
Bailey sucks. I mean, one.
Oh, God. This is going to continue.
What match is up next?
Oh, God. The Shane McMahon-Miz feud's going to continue. Why is Miz jobbing to Shane McMahon? Why is Miz losing all the time to a 49-year-old man? Why? I don't...
I feel like Vince has lost control and just has completely sucked the life out of what was once an amazing company.
I don't understand.
They play musical chairs.
Apparently, they switch spots. I don't understand why Miz doesn't go over there. I don't get it. I don't understand.
No, Shannon is not 49 years old.
No, Shane McMahon is, though. He's older than me, and I wouldn't get in a ring and go, I should go over against Miz, because I should. Just, oh.
Who do you want to win the men's Money in the Bank? I really hope Sammy wins.
It would be great if Sami Zayn won it. It would be amazing if Sami Zayn won it. I get a bad feeling it's going to be Braun Strowman, just from what they're setting up backstage. Yep. Sami Zayn's been murdered. He's dead. Just hanging upside down. Yep, he's dead. That's it. Sami Zayn is dead. Curtain can't cover the backstage area, so they just go to black.
Elias versus Roman. Who wins?
Roman. Elias should have the belt. Elias should be a good guy, and he should have the belt. The fans want to get behind Elias. Elias could be as big as The Rock or Stone Cold if they built him right. So Roman will beat him. Why is Mick Foley bringing in a new title? Does that mean they're bringing back the hardcore belt? That wouldn't make any sense. Not with today's wrestling.
This is some of the best booking I've ever seen.
That sounds like sarcasm, doesn't it?
Right?
Velveteen Dream. He's fantastic.
Since WrestleMania 27, they've screwed The Miz, and they're still doing it until this day.
Oh, look at that. They completely changed now. Oh, does this mean 205 Live is coming out?
What wrestler represents the Penguins?
Probably Roman Reigns. He wins the title a lot, and people don't want to see him win it.
Are you watching AEW Double or Nothing next week?
If I can find a way to watch it without paying $50, yes.
Attitude Era coming back?
If Mick Foley brings out a hardcore belt, yeah, I guess so. But they'll neuter the hardcore belt if they bring it back.
Elias's Walk with Elias segments are the closest bit to Attitude Era unscripted stuff.
Oh, Walk with Elias. We've seen him live a couple times. He's absolutely hilarious.
He is. He's funny.
He is genuinely really funny. And then I know the one event we went to was him against Roman in the main event. And he was awesome and entertaining. And then as soon as Roman came out, the air went out of the building.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, now Roman's going to beat him up. And now that's the match tonight.
Does Boston win it?
I think so. I do. I think Boston's going to win it. So wait, so Tony Nese and Daivari get a shot on the main show, but Buddy Murphy didn't when he had the title, and Buddy Murphy was fantastic? No, I don't understand.
They're not screwing The Miz. You get more money if you choose to lose.
But Miz should be in the title picture, and you can't argue he's in the title picture when he keeps jobbing to the general manager for one of the shows. You know, when they got rid of the authority figures, but they didn't.
I think they should just bring back a 24/7 title just to see it again.
Yeah, the hardcore title used to be 24/7, which meant a guy could be backstage with the belt, and then he gets punched in the head, and then a referee comes out of nowhere, and they count the pin in the backstage, and you lose the title that way. It was hilarious. There was one night on Raw where I think it changed hands like 4 or 5 times.
That's really weird.
It was hilarious.
Elias reminds me a bit of how Kurt Angle would insult the crowd, but it was funny.
Yes. And that's the problem. Like he will insult the crowd to try to get them to boo him, but it doesn't work because he's genuinely funny.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens will insult the city that he's in, but it's funny.
Does Washington get another cup?
It's hard to win a Stanley Cup. Really, really hard to win a Stanley Cup. And once you've already won it, your odds of winning another one, I mean, the Kings did it, the Blackhawks did it, the Penguins did it. So mathematically, the Capitals should, but it's hard to project.
Elias is the most entertaining superstar, in my opinion, since Punk cut his saga from promos in 2013.
Because I don't get the feeling with Elias that his promos are scripted. I get the feeling that he's given more leeway to say whatever he wants than others.
I missed all the CM Punk stuff, so I don't understand why he's such a force.
CM Punk was the most, I want to say, accessible superstar that he felt like him. It felt more like it was really an extension of him more than other wrestlers we see now. His finisher was fantastic. His wrestling skill was pretty awesome. And somehow, even when he had the title, he didn't really get pushed, which is weird. But Bret Hart, that happened to as well. When he had the title, he was usually not the main event.
The 24/7 rule was my favorite part of the hardcore title run.
Oh, it was fun. A lot of fun.
Are they making a new title or bringing back an old title?
They didn't really say. It just said that Mick Foley's going to unveil a new title tonight. But that could be bringing back an old title.
Could you ever see Elias winning the title at one point?
Oh, he should have won it a while ago. I really don't understand why they didn't give him the title months ago when he was red hot and the fans wanted to get behind him. That's the best time to put a title on somebody. Or, you know, if you're going to hot shot him too and away from the title, do it then. Like with Stone Cold, when he was most over, usually wasn't when he was champion, it was when he was chasing it, but he'd be chasing it because he got screwed out of it. That's the kind of storyline they don't really seem to do anymore. They just had years of Brock Lesnar just squashing people, showing up every couple of months to squash somebody.
Who is overrated and underrated in WWE?
Overrated is tough. I think Baron Corbin is booked poorly. So he ends up in main event matches when he shouldn't, and he does do a lot of chin locks. And it's frustrating because he kind of sucks the energy out of any match he's in. But I kind of feel like that's how he's booked. But he's booked too strong. Underrated, Rusev. Rusev, 110% Rusev. And Shinsuke, ironically, since they're a tag team. Rusev and Shinsuke are the guys who are completely underbooked right now, underrated, and I don't understand what's going on there, especially with Rusev. If it's a size thing, if they love guys who are bigger, Rusev is right up their alley.
If Triple H took Vince's power, I think the WWE would shoot uphill straight away as soon as he starts.
Triple H wants to run the company. I think he'll get it. Once Vince retires, there's some hope that when XFL starts up, that Vince will go over to the XFL. I just can't see the XFL lasting very long, so I'm not holding my breath on that one. But it's going to need to change, not just with Triple H in charge, but the whole writing staff and the way that the whole thing's scripted. They've got to change the whole thing, and hopefully, with real competition, that happens.
Triple H needs to take full control,
which would require like a massive restructuring of the whole thing.
And this is the best match so far.
Tony Nese and Daivari would be the best match so far. The problem is the crowd's not going to be into it because 205 Live is not part of Raw. It is not part of SmackDown. It's only on the network. So sadly, what Tony Nese does doesn't get seen by enough people. I know when we went, the last time we went, they had Buddy Murphy against Cedric Alexander for the Cruiserweight title. And that was the best match we saw all night. But the crowd was dead because these guys aren't seen on regular TV. They're just on the network. And so for casual fans who don't have the network, they'd be like, we don't know who these guys are. And it's a shame. Wow, that was really sloppy.
Why does Lana do a Russian accent when she is American?
It made more sense before they broke that fourth wall. Now that we have a bunch of Instagram posts where she's got her boobs falling out and she's talking with her American accent, she can just drop the Russian accent fully and go to her real name of CJ, because it is weird. Not going to lie. It's almost as weird as in the pre-show when Sonya's talking about Zelina Vega and saying your boyfriend isn't going to win Money in the Bank, meaning Andrade. And I'm thinking, well, of course her boyfriend isn't going to, because she's married to Aleister Black, who's not on the card.
I started watching again at Rumble. It's odd watching and not having the wrestlers' characters being over in my head as I watch.
There isn't a character to most of these guys. Like Tony Nese. Nese is a fantastic wrestler. Even on 205 Live, it feels like it's just I win, you win, I win, you win, and there's a bunch of guys who are really, really evenly matched, very good athletic wrestlers, not really characters given to them, though.
What are your thoughts on Undertaker versus Goldberg at Crown Jewel?
Oh, it's going to be a crappy match. So they're going back to Saudi Arabia again. And in going back to Saudi Arabia, they're giving them the matches that they want. So they're bringing guys, legends back from 20 years ago. And it's going to be Goldberg and Undertaker. And it's going to be awful. Awful. One of the rumors, too, was that it'd be Goldberg against Brock Lesnar. Apparently, Brock Lesnar is going to be on it as well. I don't have any hope for it being any good.
Hunter, Vince, and Stephanie cut a promo a few months back saying that they are transforming the brand and giving the fans what they want, but the exact opposite has happened ever since.
I don't think they should have said a word because it's actually got worse. Now they've brought guys up from NXT. And that didn't work out. Tommaso Ciampa gets hurt. Gargano has to go back down to NXT and win the title because of Ciampa's injury. Aleister Black was in a tag team with Ricochet for no reason. Ricochet has been booked badly. And Aleister Black now is doing weird promo stuff. So that whole call-up thing didn't work. Sanity got called up and got destroyed. Literally, in that they weren't shown on TV, and then they split them up for no reason. Sanity was fantastic in NXT. But you have a guy in charge in Vince who doesn't even watch NXT, which is really frustrating. It's like, that's your brand and you don't even watch it. How the hell? So when people complain about how NXT talent isn't used correctly when they're brought up, that's your problem right there. Vince doesn't know what they are before they come up. So when they come up, he represents them incorrectly, and it doesn't work.
Thoughts on Bray Wyatt's new character?
Fantastic. Love it. Couldn't love it more. It's awesome.
Kofi or Owens?
I don't see Kevin Owens winning the title tonight. I think he's in this. He may soften Kofi up, and somebody may win Money in the Bank and then come out and cash in on him. But I don't see Owens beating Kofi. I'd be very surprised if that happened. Nice move.
Thoughts on Pac, aka Neville, pulling out of his match with Hangman Page?
Well, apparently it was just a matter of they wanted him to lose the match at Double or Nothing. They wanted him to lose it clean. And he said no. He's the Dragon Gate champion. He felt that as the Dragon Gate champion, he can't be losing clean in the first show put on by another promotion. I don't blame him for feeling that way. But for AEW, they said, okay, well, then this doesn't work. We need guys who are willing to lose clean kind of thing on pay-per-views. We don't do screw job DQ finishes on pay-per-views. So it just didn't work, and he quit.
Will Carlson stay with San Jose?
I doubt it. I can't see it. I said in a video today, the closer that we get to the unrestricted free agency period, the less likely we're to see guys stay where they are, because they can get into bidding wars. And for San Jose, I don't know how high they're going to want to bid for Carlson. They kind of went all in this year. I don't know how much they're going to pay to keep Carlson. Somebody will pay him $11 million. They may regret it as soon as next year, but somebody will pay him that money.
What match is this?
Tony Nese versus Daivari. And it's been fantastic. But again, without the build, the crowd kind of dead for it.
Kind of think San Jose is done this year. Today's game was brutal.
When they were showing the bench and it's half empty because everybody's hurt, yeah, that gives you the feeling that San Jose's in trouble.
Where do you think Carlson will play next year?
I think I got a funny feeling the Rangers will end up being in on him. I wouldn't be surprised if Yzerman tries to make a huge splash in Detroit. Carlson would be fantastic on their blue line again if healthy. And I think Tampa's going to be in on him. I think Tampa wanted him. And to add another name to the list, Dallas was in on him for a trade last summer and lost out. They may very well be interested in Carlson, because if you had Carlson, Heiskanen, Lindell, and Klingberg as your top four, that's intimidating. Tony Nese retains the
The empty
title.
bench made me feel like the players were either too exhausted or they are quitting because they are burned out.
And yet it was because they all got hurt. It was brutal. St. Louis has been wearing them down. And that's how the playoffs work. And there's a lot of people that are upset, but that's playoff hockey. It's been that way for decades. That guys get hurt, guys get injured because teams target them. That guy's got a bad shoulder, take him out. That guy's got a bad knee, take him out. It's horrible and it looks ugly, but it's part of the sport. You can't get that out of there.
What moves do you think Holland will make to fix the Oilers this summer?
Fix the blue line. He's got to fix the blue line, and he's got to get another goaltender. So we'll see what Holland does. Going to be a very, very interesting summer for the Oilers.
Why will someone regret paying Karlsson $11 million a year? Why would someone regret paying Karlsson $11 million a year?
They'll regret it because Karlsson is no longer the defenseman he was a couple years ago. He's worn down. He gets injured a lot. I don't think he'll play more than 65, 70 games in a given season. And he just seems to be fragile and brittle at this point. The way he's played, the amount of minutes he's played in his career, I don't think he'll ever get back to being what he was a couple years ago in Ottawa.
SmackDown or Raw?
SmackDown.
Karlsson to Oilers, could it happen?
I don't think so. I don't think Karlsson has a rule about not going to Canada, but I would be very surprised if as a UFA he would want to go to a city where he'd end up paying a lot for income tax. Income tax definitely makes a difference with free agents.
What do you think is Rickard Rakell's ceiling?
Rakell's, I still think he's a 30, 35 goal scorer. He had a rough season this year, but most in Anaheim did. I think we'll see Rakell score at about a 30 goal pace next year, and it's going to be really, really interesting.
My tea's all gone.
What happened to your tea? That's sad.
It is sad.
Did you want some of my power quencher?
No, I can't
Great.
drink that. Yeah.
You could.
No, I can't.
You could, though.
No. Karlsson said he'd take a discount for Tampa to play with Hedman.
Well, Tampa can't say anything, though, until the free agent negotiating period starts on the 23rd of June, because that would be tampering.
Best player for the Blues this postseason?
Best player for the Blues this postseason is a toss-up. Parayko's really impressed me. I know at times he's made some boneheaded mistakes, but he's been really impressive for the most part. It is hard to argue against Jaden Schwartz right now with the amount of goals he's put up at the right times. Yeah, I would go with one of those two.
Karlsson to Vancouver to play with Edler and Pedersen?
No. The Canucks may be in on free agency, and they've been talking about that. Benning has said he'll look at free agency. I can't see him having the money or being able to make an offer for Karlsson. I can't see Erik Karlsson in Vancouver.
What do the Wild need to do in the offseason?
The Wild need to get younger and faster and build on any momentum they got with Ryan Donato late in the year and have a plan for the future. They've been a playoff, but seemingly without enough youth coming in, so they need to straighten that out.
Do you think Styles versus Rollins will end with a Lesnar return?
God, I hope not. If Brock Lesnar comes back tonight, it's going to be a huge groan from me. Because it's Brock Lesnar. Brock.
Could you ever see the best hypothetical player in the NHL take a discount?
You know what? McDavid already did. McDavid was actually going to make more money with the Oilers than they ended up giving him. He actually gave back about $1 million a year because he wanted to make sure they could put a team on the ice around him that could compete for the playoffs. And Crosby as well. when he signed that $8.7 million a year deal. He could have got more, but it was much the same reasoning of I want to make sure the Penguins can compete for the Stanley Cup.
I might have missed it, but what would Tampa need to do if Carlson becomes a free agent?
If Carlson became a free agent, where is it?
Yeah.
No.
What would Tampa need to do if Carlson becomes a free agent?
Carlson would need, or Tampa would need to free up some other money somewhere else. I can't see how they get Carlson to make it work under the cap. I can't see it. Can't see it.
If they make it to the Cup, do you think the Blues will be able to beat Boston?
I hope not. But yes, they are a much better matchup to Boston than San Jose. I think Boston would beat San Jose. I'm more concerned with St. Louis than San Jose.
Do you think Charlotte beats Becky?
Oh, I want to say no, but I can't see Becky Lynch holding both women's belts for very long because it makes the rest of the division look weak. I can't see them having two belts on one person.
Buffalo has a lot of cap room. What do they do with it?
I'd sit on it. I wouldn't do very much. I don't think Buffalo's as far off as a lot of people might think. There's parts of the team they need to fix, but I don't think that a big name free agent necessarily does it. And if they retain Skinner, they won't have as much free agent space or as much cap space after that as they do now. And I know they're looking at Skinner. They have made him apparently a significant offer. There's a fun hat for you, sweetie. Is it?
It looks like a big sombrero.
And I was gonna say, is it March 17th?
Sparkly sombrero.
Because it makes it look like it's St. Patrick's Day. Because she's all green. It's Lacey Evans.
Really dorky.
Apparently, she's the future of women's wrestling because McMahon likes her.
All right.
She's blonde. And she was in the military, so they figure they can market her based on the fact she was in the military. And there's Lacey Evans money, I guess.
Do you watch soccer?
I only watch World Cup and odd here and there Premier League games.
Have Bailey and Sasha broken up yet? I haven't been following lately.
We haven't seen Sasha since Mania. Sasha's been posting tons of pictures of herself on beaches and partying, and Sasha's having a ball. I think Sasha's done. WWE apparently is offering her the moon, and she doesn't want any of it. She wants out. Everything seems to point to her wanting out of the company, and I don't think she'll have a problem finding a job if she can get out of the company.
Do you think that the Canucks have a chance of making the playoffs next year?
Absolutely. Yep.
If you were the Blues GM, how much would you sign Bennington for?
I would give Bennington a 2 or 3 year deal. If they make it to the Stanley Cup Finals, odds are they probably end up overpaying. I could see Bennington getting a lot of money. It's tricky because you don't want to insult the guy by lowballing him with your offer, but you don't want to end up in a situation where if next year he takes a step back or if it turns out to be a 1-year wonder kind of thing, you don't want to be stuck with this bad contract either.
What will you do when you hit 100,000 subs? A party? Us a party. We're totally party people.
Well, where's my? It was right here.
Oh, what are you looking for?
I have a disco ball.
Oh.
I have a little disco ball that I can put on the floor, and it'll have spinning lights everywhere. I'll do some kind of a disco dance party kind of thing for 100,000. Here it is. Yeah, here it is.
Oh, that's not a disco ball.
Yeah, sure it is. You
not.
Plug it in, and it has little lights, and it spins.
It's lights. It's not a disco ball.
Well, where else would you see this other than a disco?
In a teenager's room. It is really cold down here.
It's not cold down here. It's 23 degrees out, and the windows are open.
You're
You're
warm.
always cold.
Oh,
You're
warm.
always cold.
It's cold. Okay. If St. Louis wins the cup this year, does that mean that Bennington gets the Calder Trophy?
No, because they voted on the Calder before the playoffs. So it has nothing that happens in the playoffs has any bearing on the Calder Trophy. It's probably Pedersen that wins it. I would be very surprised if he doesn't win it. I really hope Lacey doesn't win this match. I will be very upset if Lacey wins this match because she has done nothing to deserve to be in the women's title match.
What should the Canucks do this offseason?
They don't have to do much. I don't think they're that far off. They gained 8 points off where they were last year. Just stay on, or 7 points off where they were last year. Just stay on the same path they're already on. They've got all the young kids. Add a veteran or two here and there, and they'll be fine.
WWE Universe loves Sasha, and she was stalwart in the women's division. But when WWE book her poorly, you see how much it has affected her career to date, and that is most likely down to Vince again.
They have never let her successfully defend a title. Like, people talk about how she's a whiny baby because when they told her before Mania that she was dropping the tag belts, apparently she threw a fit and she just laid on the floor backstage and just stared at the ceiling, just pissed off. Her and Bayley both were flipping out. I don't blame her. She's never been allowed to defend a title in 2 years. Every time she goes into a title defense, she loses. How can she say that she's booked strongly at all? It doesn't. I don't get it.
Thoughts on Myers to Vancouver rumors?
He's going to get a lot of money. I don't know that Vancouver is going to be the highest bidder. Myers makes me nervous because he had a solid season for Winnipeg, but I could see him ending up being one of those overpaid, unrestricted free agents just because of bidding wars that happen.
How are your cats? I have 2 cats of my own. Cats are awesome.
Cats are good. Cats are pretty good. We went out yesterday to the meetup. We're posting a video of that after we're done the live stream. And Shadow seemed to be a brat while we were out because Lilybell and Pixel were really agitated when we got home.
Yeah.
And every time he was around, they both lost their minds. So I don't know what he did. They're all blustery. They growl and hiss, but they don't really do anything. So I think he chases them around when we're not here because he enjoys making them make noises. Especially Lilybell. He gets a real kick out of her just screaming at him.
Yeah. I hate that they don't wait until after the playoffs for the awards.
I get why they do it that way. I've also advocated that maybe they should do the vote after the first round, but I've been shouted down for that, so I don't say that anymore.
I saw your MITB video from a little while ago.
Money in the Bank.
Okay, just tuned in to your video. Daniel Bryan on the pre-show. Show getting any better?
It's been rough. This is not, and this is the thing. Like, I have the network, so I pay for it every month. There's no way in hell I would pay to buy this. If you're just buying the pay-per-view, it's $54.95. Yvonne.
What?
This is $54.95 if you don't have the network.
Dear Lord.
They want $55 to watch this.
I don't understand that.
It's ridiculous. It's insane
really don't get
when
that.
they have a pay-per-view every few weeks.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
It is.
And they all feel like just glorified Raw and SmackDown episodes now. They don't feel special. Pay-per-views should feel special.
Does the name Kabuki Warrior sound like a good name for Asuka and Curry?
No. That's a terrible name. They might as well just said Japanese girls. Now here comes our new tag team champions, the Japanese girls. Because it's so ridiculous. It's insane. I don't get it.
Have you listened to the new Slipknot song?
Yes, I like it very, very much. It's fantastic. This year we're seeing Rammstein, Slipknot, and Tool, all with new albums.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's just great. That's just fantastic.
In my opinion, Charlotte is boring. She just dips in and out of the title scene, and I don't think she deserves it, to be honest.
Charlotte is absolutely not great. she's a good wrestler, but yeah, her character is just sort of I'm Rick's daughter. They don't really push her as anything else either. And now she's got the fake boobs in her face. She seems to have the collagen. It's weird because she was getting overdue to her talent, and now it's like she wants to make herself something she naturally doesn't seem to work as. She wants to be the sex object, and I don't think that works for her.
Who do you think is being wasted the most by the WWE?
I think on the men's side it's Rusev. On the women's side, it was Sasha Banks. Ember Moon is seemingly without any kind of direction. Asuka in a tag team, really ridiculous.
Did Ray seriously beat Joe in like a minute?
That match was really weird. Joe's shoulder was up, and I don't understand why they keep doing these stupid screw ups by referees right now. It's very amateurish and it's very stupid. Joe's shoulder was clearly up throughout that entire count, and they counted it for 3, and the title belongs to Ray. Don't they understand? Good guys aren't supposed to win belts that way. The bad guys are. Now we have Becky who won it that way against Ronda, and Ray who won it that way against Samoa Joe. I don't get it.
Do you think Bobby Roode will be world champion ever?
I think Bobby Roode's mustache deserves a world title run. I don't think it happens. The fact that they're trying to turn him into Rick Rude is just sad, and it's just because of his name and because a mustache works on him. But Bobby Roode's fantastic, but so's EC3, and they're just destroying EC3 weekly. So, yeah, I don't get it.
Charlotte and Brock are similar, how they get to do title things, and that's it.
Well, again, I think with Charlotte, it's because she's Ric Flair's daughter, and in NXT, her talent would seem to be a big part of it. But you've got to rotate who the contenders are. It's just sad.
When do you see WWE calling up Candice LeRae?
She was supposed to get called up when Johnny got called up. I think because Johnny got stuck in NXT, I think she'll stay down there too. They try to keep husband and wife teams together, although Killian Dane apparently got sent back to NXT while Nikki Cross is still in WWE, and that didn't seem to matter at all. Nikki didn't do much of anything in that match. Now I'm sad about Nikki. So
There's somebody on here that doesn't like Tool.
That's not a thing.
Weird is that?
Yeah, it's probably Maynard. No. It's probably a dummy account of Maynard's.
There you go.
Yeah. Because Maynard, if he had a dummy account on the internet, he would totally slag Tool and say they suck. That would be a Maynard thing to do.
Do you watch the NBA? If so, who do you think will win the title?
It's going to be Golden State again. Yeah, it was on at Red Robin last night when we were there. The last of the games. She was glued to the TV.
No,
I kept, Yvonne, I'm over here. Stop watching basketball.
I didn't look at the
And, she was like, oh, Golden State won it. I'm so excited. But she was still sad for Portland because the Trailblazers used to be her team.
I didn't even know who was playing,
So, that's yeah, it'll be Golden State, and then everybody will lose it. There really isn't parity in basketball like there is in other sports. And it becomes really, really obvious when the playoffs roll around. And it's part of the reason why it's hard for me to really get into the NBA, because it just feels like at the start of the year, who's going to be in the finals.
They're portraying Charlotte as the dominant force of the women's division, but it's useless if is seen to be powerful but can't beat a smaller woman who is not as good at wrestling.
It's not just that. It's that Charlotte is handed title opportunities. She shouldn't be handed title opportunities. Okay, so Becky keeps the Raw belt.
Charlotte is female Brock and how she's booked now.
Yeah, but she doesn't, and she doesn't beat anybody to get these title shots. It's just like, and Charlotte's in the match.
Becky's outfit tonight is partly inspired by Kill Bill, right?
Yeah, it's just inverted. It's black. It's yellow stripes instead of black. I gotta say Becky's ring gear at one point was kind of sad. But it's back on track with this character change they've done with her. Wait a minute.
Down here saying that I watched basketball too. Because he's a brat like that.
Becky's shoulders were down. They didn't count it. Oh.
Do you think that they're going to have another war between WWE and AEW?
I don't think so. Okay, now the only way that this works, so Charlotte's come out right after Becky retained the WWE Raw title. The only way this works is that Becky should beat her in like 10 seconds. Becky should just trash her.
Imagine a new version of Monday Night Wars between AEW and WWE.
Well, see, AEW is smart, though. They're on Wednesdays.
I'm going to go get one more tea.
Grab me a pop, too. Thanks. Thanks, ma'am. Which NHL team that made the playoffs this year misses next year? And which one that missed makes it next year? Philadelphia is going to be back in the playoffs. I don't know who ends up being out. Dallas? I could see Dallas falling back out if they don't make the right moves this summer. Of course it's official. The music played, Charlotte came out. Of course it's official.
Do you like Pepsi or Coke better?
Coke. Although Diet Orange Crush is fantastic.
Neither. It's all gross.
Yes, she did.
San Jose won't make it next year.
Well, not if everybody's injured into next year, no. I think San Jose will still be a playoff team next year. I think this was their all-in year, though. I think this was their best shot at it.
How do you think Jeremy
Colleton
did after taking over as coach?
I think he did fine with what he had. I think the real test is going to be this year when he has a clean slate from the start of the year.
Other than Golden State, who do you think has a shot at winning the NBA title in the future?
It won't be the Lakers. I guess it could be the Raptors if they make the right moves. I'm still of the mind that I don't see a championship in Toronto's future for the Raptors. Milwaukee will have a chance. I think if the Celtics make the right moves, they have a chance. Yeah. And then from there, it's just a matter of where all the free agents decide they're going to sign next. See how she had a boob job there? Because she's kind of... That's going to make it harder to wrestle.
Would think so.
Wouldn't you think? Make
I'm
you more
Irish,
top-heavy?
Go Becky, but it's sad about Sheamus.
Yes. Sheamus, honestly, the funny thing is, I couldn't stand Sheamus in the ring, but outside the ring, backstage and interviews and stuff, Sheamus is hilarious. Sheamus is a great guy out of character, and it makes me think they didn't handle him very well in the ring, and they didn't let him be himself enough as a wrestler. Hopefully he can make a comeback, and they can book him correctly and let him be more of himself. I think we saw a lot more of that with him and Cesaro together, but give him a singles run.
What would you name the Kabuki Warriors?
I don't know that they need a name. I think any name you give them is going to be odd because you've got Asuka, who's the Empress. Okay, so you've got the Empress and the Pirate Princess. You just call them the Empress and the Princess. I don't understand calling them the Kabuki Warriors. I don't. The Empress and the Princess works perfectly fine. Or Space Pirates. Space Pirates could work, couldn't it?
That sounds stupid. What's going on with the refs tonight?
Yeah, it's got to be some kind of an angle that they're doing on purpose because there's no way this is accidental, and it's an awful idea. I mean, referees used to be really stupid, but they weren't incompetent. So you'd have like the referee's distracted by a manager while somebody's doing something heinous. A referee gets knocked down, so he misses something that happens. This is referees watching the action, just flat out missing what's going on. It's a really bad idea to go, oh, all of our referees are incompetent. And it doesn't happen in NXT. So this is absolutely being booked this way on purpose.
Do you like Liv Morgan?
I love Liv Morgan. I can't believe that she hasn't been on TV in over a month. They move her from one show to another. She cries when they move her to another show, and then they don't book her. Liv Morgan could be the most over woman in the company if she was handled correctly, and I don't understand what they're doing with her. Why break up the Riot Squad if you're not going to do anything with any of them?
Bayley challenges Becky after this match. 3 title defenses in a row. First time ever.
That'd be fantastic. Or if Charlotte beats Becky and then she gets defeated by Bayley, that would be hilarious. That would be really funny. That would actually be really good booking, which is why I'm pretty sure it won't happen.
I miss the Riot Squad. Where are they?
Yep. Last I saw, Ruby Riot's getting buried. Sarah Logan is MIA. And Liv Morgan is literally tweeting online about how she's not on television and trying not to complain outwardly. You don't want to complain on social media too much because the company gets mad. You can kind of nudge them. You want to be on TV. It's a fine line. I don't understand it because Liv's way better a wrestler now than she was a couple years ago.
This thing with the refs makes the product look bad.
Oh, it makes everything look bad. Because it's 3 matches now that have been tainted by refereeing. That was weird.
If they were handled correctly, is a common statement I hear about WWE.
Yes. And it's because they've had a monopoly. They haven't had real competition in about 20 years. So when you have a monopoly, you get lazy and you get sloppy. Because no matter what you do, you've still got the whole market.
Didn't this storyline already happen?
Oh, come on.
Where the refs were botching calls all the time, leading to some type of strike?
Okay, so Lynch just went down off a kick that didn't connect.
Seems to be that this would be a good booking, or script means it'll never happen in the WWE.
The kick missed. The kick didn't even connect.
Competition breeds innovation. How WWE is now is why I watch smaller companies like MLW.
Well, I watched ROH this week, but I didn't enjoy it. I'm going to keep giving it a shot, however.
This pay-per-view is so bad. I don't know if I want to watch anymore. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Why in the world is Lacey Evans in the title picture anyway? So obviously, I guess Lacey's going to beat Becky for the other women's title. Brand split? What's the brand split?
I think Vince lost his marbles in fear of AEW. Your reaction says it all. Thank God I'm not watching this pay-per-view.
This literally gives fans what nobody wanted to see.
What are they saying?
We want Becky? I don't...
It doesn't sound like it.
This is just stupid. Why are we still continuing this feud between Charlotte and Becky? It should have been over. This feud's been going on for almost a year. And there's Bayley. There's the cash in. No, she's not. She's coming in to cash in.
AEW won't have competition at this rate. Blonde and hot is Vince's thing. He needs to step back. She's blonde, not hot.
I agree with that statement. I would not say, and I'm not saying Charlotte's not attractive. I think there's too many people say she's not. And she's attractive, but she's not.
Not denying Charlotte is amazing, but what was the point of putting the title on Becky and screwing Asuka out of the women's title?
Yeah, I don't get that at all. I really, really don't. So is Becky cashing in or no? Everybody's freaking out because they figure she's cashing in. Is she going to cash in? Are we going to see Charlotte's reign last 30 seconds? You understand how the Money in the Bank works, right?
I don't remember. I know you told me.
So the briefcase means that at any point, Bayley can cash in and get a title match. She could cash in right now and get a title match at Charlotte. I don't think she is. Smack her with the briefcase a few times first.
Okay. Yeah, they're all saying, come on, Bayley, do it, do it.
If she loses here, I may just turn off the live stream and may just go drink.
But she's not even moving, so...
That's the point.
What is she doing?
Something stupid that's going to cost her the match, probably.
Right. I'm not understanding this.
There you go. Bayley's the champion now.
This is silly. Somebody called that earlier. Did you ever watch the Roller Hockey International in the mid-90s and the Vancouver Voodoo?
I tried. I tried watching the Vancouver Voodoo. They had an amazing jersey, an amazing look, and Tiger Williams promoting them. It was a nice effort. And Jose Charbonneau became a Vancouver Canuck because of the Vancouver Voodoo.
Everyone in the writer's room needs to be fired.
So now is Becky going to go after Bayley, or are we just going to drop the whole thing and now Becky's on Raw?
How much should Besser get paid on his next contract? How much will he actually get paid?
Brock, I don't know, 6-7 million. I would think it'll be a bridge contract, though, because he's only played 2 years. And I think the ceiling's high for him. So I think he may very well agree to a little bit less cap than he wants. on a shorter contract with the idea that 3 years down the road he can make a ton of money. I think Brock's going to be a 40 goal scorer. Well, she's climbing into the crowd.
It takes a good guy several months and several losses to finally win a belt. But this is like, what just happened?
It's overly complicated.
Your reactions to this pay-per-view is more enjoyable than the pay-per-view itself.
I'm glad Bayley won. I cannot stand the idea of Charlotte. But the problem is, that means Bayley on SmackDown will be fighting with Charlotte over the title. So we can get Charlotte back into it. Where's the security?
Did you listen to Bully Ray's Busted Open with Jericho? It's great and explains a lot about Vince.
No, I know Bully Ray's been talking a lot about how he agrees with a lot of the things that we don't necessarily. But I respect Bully Ray as well. You got to respect a guy who's with Velvet Sky. I don't know how he set that up. I don't know how he gets Velvet Sky. I don't, but kudos to him.
I don't think WWE writers should be fired. I just think Vince needs to stop being in creative control.
Oh, agreed. Becky winning the title is fantastic. Or not Bayley winning the title is fantastic if it's done right. But I think if Becky had held the title, if you didn't have that screwy thing with Lacey Evans that wasn't necessary, you have Becky retain both titles and then Bayley cashes in on her, I think you have a more interesting storyline coming out of it than just now Becky pins Charlotte. So we'll have Charlotte against Becky and
I hate Bayley as a face.
I don't think Bayley would work as a heel, though.
I like Bayley, but not as champ.
They had to give her something because after the tag belt thing, I think that's why she got it. I think they want to make sure she's happy. I think they're concerned about losing wrestlers at this point, and they've already lost a few, and they don't want to lose any more. So when they're not happy, I think you're going to see titles thrown at them. Happened with the Usos, happened with the Revival, and now I think it's happened with her.
None of the writers know how to write a women's storyline. It's really petty.
The women's storylines are all catfights.
Yes.
They're all catfights, and
yes,
I don't like your boyfriend.
And you were looking at my boyfriend.
Oh, yeah, Elias. There you go. That's not going to get him over as a heel.
So what happened during this? Becky lost to Charlotte. Then what?
Becky lost to Charlotte, and then Bayley cashed in on Charlotte, so Charlotte lost the belt. That's a fantastic jacket. Just saying. That, Elias, that is a fantastic jacket for Elias.
Do you think Bray will debut tonight?
I don't think so. I think they're going to hold Bray off. I think it'll be tomorrow night. I think Bray will debut tomorrow night. Or maybe they'll hold him off for Saudi Arabia. Maybe he'll get involved in the Goldberg-Undertaker match. Oh, I can dream.
So they're just going to forget how they had literally been doing nothing with Bayley for what seems like years just to have her win the title out of the blue?
Yeah, because I think they already saw Sasha walk out on the company, and they may have been worried about her walking out too.
I would love to see Bayley versus Sasha feud.
Agreed.
This is why AEW will be better for women's wrestling.
I agree with that as well, especially if they could get Sasha. This is great. So Elias breaks a guitar across the back of Roman Reigns, and now he's going to do a little concert for us. Give the title to him.
When did Peterson turn tall, built, and hairy? Did Mick Foley announce the new belt?
No, they haven't done that yet.
Do you like LaCroix? Does anybody actually like it?
No, Lacroix. It's the last name. I just don't know which Lacroix he means. Have to be more specific than that. That's what the announcer said too.
That was weird.
That felt good. That felt good.
What new belt is being introduced tonight?
If it's Mick Foley, it has to be some kind of a hardcore belt. Damn straight you are.
Foley is announcing the title on Raw.
Oh, that's too bad. So it'll be some other secondary Raw title. I wouldn't put it past them to have them announcing another women's title, but we don't need another women's title. We need feuds. We need good writing. We don't need more titles.
Elias is the best thing WWE has right now.
Oh, 100%. 100%. He's fantastic. When his segments are on, if the kids are around, they will all stop what they're doing and watch him on TV. And that's always been my measuring stick. Like back 15 years ago when my kids were little, if certain wrestlers were on TV, they would stop. If it was The Rock, Stone Cold, Trish Stratus, they would just stop and watch TV, and they'd listen to what was going on. Everybody else they just ignore. And I always thought that was the measuring stick of when something works. And Elias, the kids will all stop and listen to him.
Adelaide likes a lot of the women.
She does, but she likes their outfits.
Yes.
She really likes their outfits. Sparkly outfits she likes.
Yeah, and colorful.
Yeah.
No, we can't show the TV.
No, that is copyright, and
Shannon likes his channel.
They get really nasty about that kind of thing. That's why I even turn the TV down, because they're I wouldn't be surprised if WWE cycles through these live reaction videos on YouTube looking for anybody who might be breaking the rules and shutting them down.
Oh, he did mean the drink. I was right. I was right. Says he meant the drink.
Okay.
LaCroix.
I don't know what that is.
It's so disgusting. You don't like it. It's like soda water with a slight hint of fruit, but you can't really taste the fruit.
So it would be like that flavored stuff I got from work.
Club soda. Yeah.
Remember when I brought them that flavored water from work?
Nobody would drink it.
Yeah, because they're like, we got this for free, and I'm like, there's a reason you got this for free. And they acted like they were so generous, but they just had it handed to them. They didn't pay for it.
YouTube copyright system is abusive. No.
Well,
no.
On some level, there are some channels that get hit, but I just make sure mine can't. I make sure mine can't. Yeah. Do that with the hockey. I do that with this one. He said Hartford. That's why I said Hartford. I do that with the hockey, and I do that on here as well. I am not risking it.
In the U.S., LaCroix is pronounced LaCroix. That's not how you pronounce those letters, though.
I know. It's LaCroix.
That's not. That's not what those letters say.
No, it's French. It's LaCroix.
It is. Silly Americans.
But then again, it's not Notre Dame either. It's Notre Dame.
Right.
They call it Notre Dame.
Yeah, well.
That's great. So he goes out to the ring like, all right, I've performed, and I'm out of here. And now Roman Reigns will come out and beat him up.
What is the best thing in WWE right now, Elias or Bray?
Bray is going to be, but I can't wait to see how they destroy it, because they ruin Bray regularly.
Elias made a Whalers reference. Let me hear it. Charlotte's going to break Ric Flair's title record with all of her reigns being less than 30 days.
Yes. Yeah, and that's part of the reason why she's had so many title reigns. Oh, for flip's sake.
Why is he rolling?
Because he has to go back to the ring, so he'll slowly fall.
It's so steep. I'm slipping down.
Oh, what's happened? What a world. What a world.
That was so dorky. Oh, my goodness. That was really dumb.
That was hilarious.
Watching WWE is like drinking Drinking last LaCroix. Oh, LaCroix. You expect something cool and refreshing, but end up with bitter disappointment. Have you ever seen the drinks of what LaCroix tastes like? It's really funny. This is silly.
What?
This is really silly.
What the hell? You.
This is just silliness. Elias is so sparkly. By SummerSlam, Charlotte will be a 12-time women's champion. What just happened?
Roman beat Elias in like a second and a half.
That was like no time. Yeah, Elias rolled.
King Kong Bundy and Special Delivery Jones, everybody.
And he's out. That was really weird. I like Roman, but what the hell is this?
Like, the only way this makes sense is if somebody's hurt. The only way this makes sense is if either Elias or Roman are working with an injury. It makes no sense otherwise. I don't get it. You build up a pay-per-view match and it takes 3 seconds. It's no different to me than the finger poke of doom. Wow. They're just making it easier for AEW to look good.
Well, that's a way to bury a guy.
I don't, and this is the guy that I was just saying they should give him the belt. And nah, 50% on championship belts are only $200 right now, sweetie. I can get a championship belt for 50% off right now in WWE. I'm going to go order myself some championship belts. Did you want one?
No, that's ridiculous.
Only $200 right now.
No, only
$200.
That's ridiculous.
I'm going to go order myself some WWE championship
WWE
belts.
Storylines nowadays.
I don't get it.
It's just Reigns burying more talent. Pretty much every match will be horrible tonight.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
All right. How many belts do you want?
Shannon.
I was wrong. They're $149 right now.
Zero.
Okay, how many belts do you want?
That's so much.
I'm going to get you 6 because you never know when you're going to need more belts.
No.
The kids can't argue with you when you got a WWE title over your arm.
They can. They
can't
argue
though.
with me. Doesn't matter what happens.
No, they can't. Wow, the United Kingdom replica title's only $300 right now. I think that's American.
The belt is the only one I'd want to buy.
I don't. Who the hell's buying these things?
How long is this event?
It's got another 2 hours.
Ugh.
I don't think we're gonna live stream for that. That's not.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous.
No, I don't think that's gonna happen.
We should go on a walk. It's all nice and sunny.
During the live stream, just walk away. Just go on a walk during a live stream. Just leave them here. Can kind of hear the TV and just see my bookshelf. That'd be fantastic.
I'm telling you, watch MLW. It's fantastic.
It's a matter of finding where I can watch it because I don't have that in Canada anywhere.
What?
MLW. It's another wrestling company, but it's a matter of finding it on television.
WWE needs to hire you guys. This is real entertainment. If we had a drinking game for this pay-per-view, we'd all be wasted or dead from alcohol poisoning.
I don't know what to say other than this is just such a.
Can you imagine going to this?
I would be pissed. Not only, just think about it. Now, when we've gone to wrestling events, it's been like, $30 a ticket, $40 a ticket.
Yeah.
This, you're paying like $100.
It's ridiculous.
You're paying good money, and you might be up in the nosebleeds where you can't even see anything.
I've thought that before. We went to one that we were pretty far away, and it was tricky to see.
Yeah. And in these are huge stadiums with 40, 50,000 people in them. You may not be able to see anything, and it's just crap.
Or all the pay-per-view events this long. WrestleMania was super long too.
WrestleMania was 5 hours. This one's ridiculous. They used to be 3. They used to be 3, which was kind of perfect. They'd be 3 and they'd have 12, 13 matches on them. Now they're stupid. They're
ML
4 or more.
MLW has all episodes on YouTube.
I'll have to check it out because I enjoy wrestling, but I enjoy it for things that WWE doesn't provide anymore, which is storytelling, long-term angles. And I'm not talking about Charlotte and Becky that nobody cares about anymore. I'm talking about like a long-term, a long build to something. What they almost did, and they almost pulled off with Becky and Ronda, but they blew it by sticking Charlotte in the middle of it. And they overbooked it into the ground, like something sort of like with John Cena and The Rock, which worked. Somehow that worked for a year. The slow burn they had between Stone Cold and Bret Hart back in the day. That feud went on for a long time, and it just got better as it went along.
Universal title match before Money in the Bank. Way to kill a potential cash in.
Because I don't think there's going to be any kind of cash in, and I don't. I mean, if Andrade won the Money in the Bank and then cashed in tonight, the thing is, we've already had Bailey cash in, so we know there's not going to be 2 cash ins the same night. So yeah, that'll just be the main event.
Drew says he's going to Stomping Grounds next month. I don't even know what that is.
Is that the ROH event they're having there? That might be the ROH event they're having there. Because I looked at that, remember?
Oh yeah.
They're having an ROH event in Kent.
Great.
And I looked at it and I just couldn't figure out a way to make it work. Because
Rollins is going to win here?
Yes. Yeah, I can't see Rollins losing to AJ. I think this is just a match between 2 really good wrestlers to have a good match and to get Seth further over.
It's the Money in the Bank is what's on.
Yes.
I think Becky and LeRae hardcore feud would be sick if they ever let them do that stuff.
I don't know that they will. I think with all of the talk about them not providing health care to wrestlers and with all the talk about concussions, I can't see hardcore wrestling coming back where people are smashing each other open all the time. I just can't see it.
WWE Stomping Grounds is in June.
Oh, WWE Stomping Grounds. Okay, I knew there was an ROH event coming up down there too. Hi, Kitty.
If you enjoy long-term booking, New Japan is the way to go.
New Japan's supposed to be fantastic.
People say, hi, Shadow. Real star of Shannon's channel, the cat.
Agreed.
What do you
I used to get argued with about that too back in the day.
I know people saying that you shouldn't have the cats. In the
people
videos,
used to say, no cats, get the cats out.
I do remember that.
If you want to be taken seriously, stop putting cats.
Yeah.
Get the cats out.
What do you think is realistically going to happen with AEW? Do you think it's going to make Vince Mac realize he has lost it?
He won't see anything like that until AEW's beaten him in the ratings. If Raw pulls a 1.8 or a 1.9 and AEW shows pulling a 2.5 to 2.6, somewhere in that region, you'll see a full-on panic then. They're not in a panic yet because they've still got the network. They're still making a lot of money. So until that changes, it's and if AEW pulls the same rating as Raw and SmackDown, I can't see that changing things either.
What do you think is real? Or wait, I did that one. WWE doesn't provide health care for their athletes?
No. They'll cover certain injuries, but in terms of actual health care, no. Because they're not employees. They're independent contractors. They say they're not employees, and they've argued that in court. They're not actually employees.
There's this crazy guy talking about wrestling in a cat video.
I've seen people say this is my favorite, like on the main channel, say this is my favorite cat channel. Where some crazy guy's talking about hockey.
If you guys don't stream Double or Nothing, could you do a prediction video?
Prediction video is tough when I haven't seen a lot of the wrestlers wrestle.
Right.
And we don't know what's going to happen with the Adam Page match because Pac quit. I'm predicting Jon Moxley comes in. Kind of hoping it's CM Punk, but I'm predicting it's Jon Moxley that comes in.
Who won between Shane and The Miz?
Shane. one of my many eye-rolling moments of tonight, Shane won that match because, of course, he did. Absolutely bloody ridiculous. Back in the day, you would build up the bad guy, and then he'd have his comeuppance in the feud, right? The good guy would win it, so you have that feel-good moment. That feud doesn't have that. It's just continual failures for The Miz, and I don't get it.
Really glad I decided to watch Memorial Cup over the tire fire that is Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I can understand that. That makes sense. We can always do a live stream for the Memorial Cup finals. I'm not a big Memorial Cup guy.
Who do you think is the best wrestler to never hold the world belt? I think MR Perfect or Scott Hall.
Mr. Perfect. I would go with Ted DiBiase personally. But I would also say Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake was so over. He was so there were points where they could have put the title on him and it would have been so fantastic. And they just never did it. I understand some people don't need belts, but man, Jake the Snake Roberts as WWE champion would have been fantastic.
Vince is holding wrestlers in WWE longer because they were injured in the past.
It's a loophole. And it's a loophole he's started using now to keep them away from AEW. Before it wouldn't have really mattered. But he is actively trying to keep these guys from going to AEW. If Luke Harper went to AEW as Brody Lee, he would be fantastic. Brody Lee, great wrestler. Look up Brody Lee matches on YouTube. I'm sure you'll find at least a couple. He was amazing as an independent wrestler. And again, in WWE, he's just been another guy kind of thrown out there. He would absolutely be a fantastic main event talent, I would think, in AEW, and that's why they're holding on to him for another 6 months.
Unpopular opinion, The Miz is extremely boring, both on the mic and in the ring.
She agrees.
I don't like him.
She does not like The Miz. I think
A
with
lot
the
of guys I don't like.
I think with The Miz, though, I think that right now is a good time to push him into the main event picture. He's over with the fans. That'll work. But for whatever reason, they're keeping him in this feud with Shane that just feels dead.
What is your dream match?
My ultimate dream match would have been Stone Cold in his prime against Hulk Hogan. And Stone Cold wins. And I that would have been fantastic. WCW really, really blew it with guys like Austin, Jericho, Eddie Guerrero. Absolutely. They could have won the Monday Night Wars if they'd used them right.
Who's your favorite commentator in WWE? Mine is Mauro Ranallo.
Mauro Ranallo. Yeah, that's my vote too. Him calling NXT matches makes them feel important and epic, and it makes every moment feel big. And I don't get that feeling with pay-per-views now. Corey Graves just craps over whatever he's watching. Renee Young gushes over whatever she's watching. And Michael Cole just says whatever somebody in his ear tells him to say. It's brutal. Corey Graves tries to be like Bobby Heenan, but it's not entertaining. Bobby Heenan was great. I miss Bobby Heenan.
What would you rate this show out of 10 so far?
4. I really honestly, and it only gets a 4 because Bayley winning the title is kind of a nice touch. But other than that, it really just no. It's been poor. This is really badly booked.
Has there ever been a point when you quit watching? I think from about 2008 to when The Rock came back was pretty bad.
Yes, there have been points where I've stopped watching. And not only that, but when you have an option to watch something else, that makes it more apparent. This is why when AEW becomes a regular weekly show, there will be in more households in the U.S. than WWE's flagship program, at least until the Fox deal kicks in with SmackDown. It's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens. Because, yeah, I could ignore this product for a few months. I'm thinking about canceling the network. I don't know that I watch it as much as I need to for the amount of money we spend on it. And I think that it's sad because I don't watch very much Raw at all anymore. I turn on the first 5 minutes, and then I turn it on at the 6 o'clock hour, just to see what's going on. That's usually when the women are wrestling. And then that's about it. I don't watch main events because they're pointless, which is sad. So the main thrust of your show is pointless. That's why the third hour on Raw is now their worst performing, because nothing happens. They set everything up at the start of the show. You know what's going to happen at the end. Why bother watching it?
If Harper's back on TV, do you see him joining Brian and Rowan?
You know, honestly, I think if Luke Harper, his character had some kind of a psychotic break too, and he was with Bray Wyatt, I think it would be fantastic. But that's just not going to happen. I think maybe with Rowan and Brian, but it all signs indicate that Vince McMahon hates anything Luke Harper does. What soured on Luke Harper apparently was Luke Harper can't talk in a Southern accent. That's it. Can't talk in a Southern accent. I'm done. And just hates everything he does now. So that's it. And that's really stupid. That's a stupid reason to turn against a wrestler.
Have you ever thought of making a Dream WrestleMania if you haven't already?
I thought I did that once. I know I started one. I can do another one. That's easy enough.
Are you planning to go to SummerSlam in Toronto?
No. I can think of reasons to go to Toronto. SummerSlam isn't one of them. That's not a thing. That would be a very expensive trip and very expensive tickets. And I'd just come out of SummerSlam not happy, is my guess. Because probably it'd be Brock Lesnar that wins everything. Probably give him the women's title too when he comes back. Just stick a wig on him. Brook Lesnar. They'll call him Brook Lesnar.
When's the last time that you've been really shocked? Mine would have been when the Taker lost at Mania and when The Rock came back in 2011.
Jeez, it's been so long. I don't know when the last time was that I was really and truly shocked by WWE. The debut of AJ Styles. I mean, we heard the rumors he was coming out, but when he came out at the Rumble that year, it was still really, really special. I think that's the closest you can get.
Wasn't Becky not pushed for a while because of her accent?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Yes. And that was part of it with Cesaro too, was rumored that his promo skills were part of the reason he wasn't pushed, even though pound for pound he's one of the best wrestlers in the company. But there's too many guys. They need competition because there are too many wrestlers.
If that's the case on Luke Harper, that's really sad. He's so talented, and when he was the IC champion, it should have been a longer run.
They buried him, and they didn't seem to have any faith in him as the Intercontinental Champion. It kind of came out of nowhere, and then it just didn't last.
Brock Lesnar winning the women's title would be as bad as when Santino won it.
Yeah. So you just stick a wig on him, call him Brook Lesnar, and he can just go out and beat up girls, and then he can come back as Brock and beat up the guys, and it can just be the Brock and Brook show.
When was the last great match you saw on Raw?
On Raw? Oof. I can't even remember.
Brenda Lesnar.
Brenda Lesnar. That'd be good. He could have two alter ego women. He could be Brooke and Brenda Lesnar. Could be his own tag partner. Just go under the ring and put on a different wig.
How bad has this show been?
I don't know. It's Seth and AJ now. It should be fine, but it's a spot fest, and there's no real storytelling with it. So I'm just kind of not that interested in it, which is sad because Seth and AJ are both fantastic wrestlers, but I just don't. I don't know. It doesn't feel as important as a Universal title match should.
Who's the greatest for you out of HBK, Eddie Guerrero, or Chris Benoit? Despite what he did.
Benoit was fantastic as a wrestler. Wasn't great with promos. Of the three, I would go with Shawn Michaels. And as a Canadian, I hated him for what happened with Bret Hart. But Shawn Michaels was just fantastic. He could make every match feel important, which is kind of what they need now. But they need the booking for it, too.
So warm.
course I'm warm.
My hands are freezing.
Your hands are always freezing.
My feet are freezing. It is so
Always.
cold in here.
It's not that cold. It's warm
I'm
out,
so
and
cold.
the warm air's coming in here. If anything, it's warmer in here than normal.
I'm really cold.
You wouldn't deal with life on the set
Okay.
very well then.
I should go get a sweatshirt on. It's so cold. My feet are
That's
freezing.
okay. I'm almost done with the live streaming anyways.
My nose is freezing. It's just cold. Okay, do you see AEW as genuine competition now? They
Yes.
have their TV deal.
Yes. And it's not just the TV deal, it's the fact that you have a billionaire backing it. You have good structure in place already, and they seem to have a certain standard for what they want to do with their product, which is encouraging. There's a lot of encouraging things with AEW right out of the gate.
This would be a bad ending. Corey retains and Corbin cash in Money in the Bank and become WWE champion. Cool.
Yeah. That would be upsetting. I wouldn't be happy with that.
Where are the cats? My girlfriend's asking. I think Bear's still in the box over here.
Yeah, Bear sleeps in the box. And Shadow was in here.
somewhere. I think the girls are upstairs. They were when I
Pixel
came down.
and Lilybell are upstairs. They don't normally come in here. They view this more as Shadow and Bear's territory, unless Pixel can get up in the window down here and the kids are bugging her upstairs.
Yes,
then she'll just hang out in the window.
If the kids are home, they'll come down here. Otherwise, not.
They enjoy the quiet when
Yeah.
the kids aren't here.
It's sad that WWE has done what WWE has done to its brand. I used to watch every Monday and Friday.
Yep. And it's like this. This should be this fantastic, amazing match. I'm not particularly interested because I don't get the feeling that AJ is a threat for Seth's title. I can't see Seth losing the title to AJ tonight. I just can't see it.
Nia Jax will take Sammy's spot in the Money in the Bank. Mark my words.
Oh, Nia Jax. She's been yapping a lot on social media. She's out with an injury for I think like 6 months or something, but
Goodness.
she's been yapping a lot on social media. And it's just sad. They need to stop the whole fighting on Twitter thing because it's getting stupid.
What's your favorite junk food? For you, chips.
Yeah, but it'd be a specific flavor of chips, though. All dressed Ruffles.
Are yummy.
All dressed Ruffles.
Pickle chips are good too. I like pickle chips.
Or
Not
Tim's jalapeno.
Those are good too. Not the American pickle chips. Those are sad. They just make you sad when you have them.
Yeah.
Do Shadow and Bear have a favorite hockey team?
People said Bear liked
Bear liked
Anaheim
the
at one
Ducks,
point. Yeah,
yeah.
that was the big thing, was that Bear liked the Ducks. I don't think Shadow necessarily cares.
This is worse than 2015. At least it was because of injury. This is horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, there doesn't feel like there's anything important with this match. And the moves are fine, and this is where it comes down to the mechanics are fine, the match is fine, but you don't have the drama. You just don't have it.
Old Dutch ketchup are my number one. I don't like ketchup chips.
She's not big on ketchup chips.
Ketchup chips aren't. Bleh. And none of the kids like ketchup chips either.
I don't think anybody does like ketchup chips.
Why did you turn the camera to me?
Because people are probably tired of seeing the same thing on the live stream. So I'm still over here.
You just move the camera.
Why would I? Okay, fine. Right there. And phenomenal forearm and blocked.
It looks like WWE has one good match to save the event.
Well, they could have had more if they put Daniel Bryan on the main show. If they gave us the Usos and the Revival and they gave the match a decent build and they didn't make the Revival look like a flipping joke, you could put on great matches and have a great event. But no, you got to make the Revival a joke and you know, make the Usos this side show too and put them on the pre-show. I don't get it. And this is so scripted.
Could you do a video of who the players are behind the trophy name, meaning who was Selkie, Hart, Calder, Art, Ross, and so on?
Yep. Yeah, I could do that.
Michael Jackson or Prince? Michael Jackson.
Just for songs I like.
Musical.
Musically, Michael Jackson. Personality
They're
wise,
both
I'd go
crazy.
with Prince.
They're-
But Prince, I think Prince would have been fascinating.
They're both insane
But Prince would have been fascinating.
and crazy.
Yes.
Did you ever see the thing?
But if you hang out with Prince, you get to meet a lot of hot girls. So, you know, that's a good
Did you ever
thing.
see the video
And I'm taller than
with
him, so,
Kevin
you know.
Smith about Prince?
No.
You need to watch that sometime. It is kind of interesting. Prince
When did Kevin
hired-
Smith meet him?
Prince hired Kevin Smith to do a thing for him, and he's super religious. And Kevin Smith was just like, "Have you seen anything I've done?" I have to find it. It was on YouTube. It's kind of
Well, Kevin Smith's Catholic.
Prince is crazy. If you two were wrestlers, who would be the most successful?
Of you and me, you would. You're vicious. She's vicious.
What's that mean?
See,
What are you
she has
trying
the
to say,
sweet, like,
Shannon?
she has the sweet little girl kind of routine she does, and then just crazy. Crazy. She'd be snapping legs and but what she'd do is she'd go vicious during the match, and then when the match was over and her opponent's got like a bloody nose and a broken leg, she'd go over and attend to her like, "What happened to you? Oh, this is so sad. What happened?" Like she doesn't remember what happened during the match.
You're such a brat. Why was I think Daniel Bryan on the pre-show?
Because the WWE doesn't have any consistency in who are the main event guys and who aren't. And what it does, and I get why, people say, well, that's fine. You got to rotate people. But you don't get a feeling that there's anybody who's really, truly at the top of the card anymore. That it's all just interchangeable. And everybody's just, it's all fluid. And a guy who's a main eventer now could be on the pre-show. Like, can you imagine Stone Cold being a champion, losing the belt, and then being on a pre-show? No. Bret Hart? No. Shawn Michaels? Absolutely not. Now, yeah, you can be champion one week and on the pre-show the next. That's just, I don't get it. I think it's absolutely insane. Would anybody be surprised if Kofi lost tonight against KO, and then in the next pay-per-view you have a match where Kofi's tagging with Xavier Woods in a pre-show match against Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan? That wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. And it just shows just how fluid things are and how there are no real big superstar main eventers now. They make sure that doesn't exist.
Somebody knew what I was talking about. Prince and Kevin Smith.
Oh, okay.
What's your favorite Rammstein song?
Mind Tile. Although on the new album, there's a couple that I could listen to a few times and probably like them just as much. The new albums can be interesting once I get it and I listen to it and I experience it a few times. Because their albums have a way of, as I listen to each song more often, I will tend to appreciate the songs more. Tool does that too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
There's more stuff to discover with Tool songs every time you listen to it.
Gone are the days of the old rating of WWF. It is a totally new wrestling world out there since Stu Hart's Dungeon.
I miss Stampede Wrestling. I miss the old days of Stampede Wrestling. That was so much fun every week. I used to love Ed Whalen and Stampede Wrestling.
What's your favorite pizza brand? I love Domino's.
Boston Pizza? I guess.
I'd say
Panago's pretty good too, though.
Uh,
Depending on what you have.
yeah, I've had
Styles
Domino's
Clash.
pizza. I like
And he kicked
local
out.
pizza places better than the big chains.
She does.
I'm really picky. Some pizza chains are nasty. Pizza Hut pizza is really
Hey, we haven't had
gross.
Dream Pizza in a while.
I know we haven't.
You should
do that.
go get some
You should
right
go
now.
get some.
Go on.
Be a lot warmer. I could go sit in a nice warm van.
I guarantee the van's warm.
I know.
Be hot
Just
right
go
now because of the
sit in
sun.
there. It's not that sunny. It's pretty cloudy out.
Yeah, but it was sunny during the day, so it'll have heated
I
up the
know.
van kind
Let's
of
go
nicely.
sit in the van for a bit. This is such an indie match.
It's just it's there's a bunch of spots, and the moves are great and everything, but I don't feel like it's going anywhere. I don't think this is going to be an ongoing feud. It just feels like it's a one-off. So AJ wasn't going to win Money in the Bank, so they threw him in this match.
You guys are making this show watchable. Thank you for that. Okay, there's a couple of guys on here talking about their favorite Rammstein songs. One of them didn't like Deutschland at first, but it's growing on him.
Deutschland's fantastic.
One likes Mein Herzbrennt. I like that song.
That's a great. When I saw that live, it gave me chills. That's the song that seeing it live gave me chills. Much as I enjoy it on CD, live it's fantastic. I've seen them twice live.
Angle is also very good.
Oh, what a surprise!
Ryza, that's a fun one too.
What a surprise! Seth Rollins won.
Since their new album is out, I've only been listening to Rammstein for a few days now.
I used to only listen to Rammstein. I didn't listen to any music that wasn't Rammstein for years. I would just listen to Rammstein.
What's your opinion on Antoine Vermette? I loved him as a kid. And who is a player you like that isn't a star?
Who do I like that what?
That isn't a star.
Who do I like that what?
Isn't a star.
That isn't a star?
Okay. I'll read the whole thing again. Listen carefully.
Okay.
What is your opinion on Antoine Vermette? I loved him as a kid, and who is a player you like that isn't a star?
Oh, Rope Hintz has become that guy for me. I don't know if he's ever going to be a superstar, but he's become that guy for me. All right. Well, Seth retains. And what?
They need another Stone Cold or HBK.
You need to build up an HBK.
I don't know what that is.
Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. You need to build that guy up. See, so this might be the start, the continuation of the feud you need, unless they're just going to shake hands. Maybe they're just going to shake hands. Are they just going to shake hands? They're just going to shake hands then? Are they going to do the ROH thing at the end of it where they shake hands now, or are they going to hug? Looks like they're going to make out. Yvonne, they're going to make out. They're totally going to make out.
In each other's eyes.
They're totally going to make out.
I totally read that wrong. Okay. Okay. Favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday? Halloween's not a holiday, so I can't call that. Christmas, I guess. Be my favorite holiday. Why is the handshake so dramatic?
This is stupid.
Just shake his hand.
Oh, I can't. Oh.
Now, is he going to kick him?
Stupid.
It only works if you're furthering a feud between them.
Closer, and then they're going to hug. This is dumb.
All right. Well, that's done. All right. That being said, I'm going to cut off the live stream here. I know people would probably want me to go on, but it's another hour and a half. And that's the response that I had expected. So Seth retains. Bayley's the new women's champ on SmackDown, which is good because Becky's been getting overexposed being on both shows. Now she can just be on Raw, fighting with Lacey Evans. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It was fun hanging out. We will do this again, and I'll talk to you again soon.